What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about AMC GME as well as the overall broader market. So today AMC was down for 2.95% for the day. It had a high of $15.93. The average volume on AMC is around 40.93 million, but today's volume was around 36.47 million, which is definitely going down as compared to what we have been experiencing for last couple of days. Now let's come over to the GameStop. Now GameStop was up for 3.03% for the day. It had a high of $145.35. Average volume on GameStop is around 3.39 million, but today's volume was around 3.41 million. The volume is still there in the GameStop. A lot of investors are still betting that the GameStop is going to go up from here onwards. Like I mentioned in my previous video as well, GameStop usually indicates that we have actually found a bottom in the overall broader market. Right now the market is almost in a boss mode. That's the final boss that you have to fight off. It's very hard to trade the stocks right now. It's very hard to predict to buy the put options or call options right now. As we know, in the morning what happened, the overall broader market went down because the inflation number came out at 9.1%. Fed is most likely to increase 75 basis point, but there are some talks out there as well regarding 100 basis point. Now in Canada they have done 100 basis point. In US it could be a little bit hard for them to be a 100 basis point, as we are having the GDP number coming out at the end of July. That's on 28th of July, which is going to indicate if we are in a recession already or not. So Fed doesn't want to increase way too much interest rate so that it can push further into deep recession. But in order to control the inflation, the Federal Reserve need to increase the interest rate. Now we just have to wait and see how this is going to play out. But most likely what I think is going to happen is the Federal Reserve is going to increase a 0.75 basis point on this statement that the inflation has peaked right now. It's not going to go up way too much from here onwards, which can create some sort of a rally. Now by looking at the options flow, I've already mentioned you, a lot of individuals are buying call options, and the kind of volatility that we have in the overall broader market right now is insane. Now, when we have a look over the SPY, now the SPY had a high of $381.92. It had a low of $375.10. So you can imagine the kind of volatility that we were experiencing. In the morning, we were almost down for 1.50%. By the end of the day, it almost ended up in a green. It is just unbelievable the kind of movement that we are seeing in the overall broader market. It is very hard to predict which side the stock market is going to go from here onwards. Now tomorrow we have the big banks earnings, Morgan Stanley as well as JP Morgan, which is going to indicate a little bit more about where the current economy is going to go from here onwards. And next week we have the big tech earnings starting, which is going to also indicate where the companies are going to be heading and what is going to be the guidance for the future. Now let's come over to the options flow for the AMC. Now I've increased the premium to max and see what exactly the whales are doing. Now majority of them are again onto the downside, and they're buying put options and they're betting a huge amount of money to the downside for the AMC. Now, when I bring down the premium a little bit and see what exactly the mini whales are doing, now majority of them are again onto the downside and they're bidding a huge amount of money to buy put options on AMC. Now, these $14 put option that came in today were very suspicious, and they are all betting that the AMC is going to go down from here onwards. Now, in my personal experience, I don't like to play put options on stocks like this because this can get burnt out pretty easily. There is going to be only a slight news or some sort of upward momentum into the overall broader market can crush these put very easily. Now let's come over to the GameStop. Now increase the premium to max and see what exactly the whales are doing. Now this one whale came in and he's buying $2.48 million worth of call option and he's buying 200 contracts that's going to expire in one day, and he's betting that the GameStop is going to go up from here onwards. Now when I bring down the premium a little bit and see what exactly the mini whales are doing, again majority of them are onto the upside, but there was nothing majorly suspicious coming out of the options flow. The option flow is almost onto both the side as calls as well as the put side, but the call side is pretty strong as compared to the put side. The volume is pretty heavy on the call side, the premiums are pretty heavy on the call side. So now we just have to wait and see how this is going to play out. But I personally believe that every time GameStop has some sort of a movement, that is kind of like a bottom in the overall stock market. But the market is definitely going to wait till the next week, till the Fed is going to announce how much of an interest rate hike they're going to do. Even after that, the market is going to wait for the GDP number that's going to be released by the end of the July. Now let's come over to the SPY. Now I've increased the premium to max and see what exactly the whales are doing. Now all these whales are onto the downside and they're betting a huge amount of money that the SPY is going to keep going down from here onwards. They're buying this one day expiration put option that's way too much deep in the money, and they're betting a 10 to 15 million dollars and they're betting that the SPY is gonna go down from tomorrow onwards. Now when I bring down the premium a little bit and see what exactly the mini whales are doing now, mini whales are all on to the downside. There were hardly any call buying that is happening. All these individuals are betting a downside towards $363 that's going to expire in 36 days. Now what we have seen so far, there is a very strong resistance around $372 on the SPY. Every time we go down to that level, it bounced back pretty strongly to the upside. It has already happened 3 times that we were down way too much in the pre-market, and then as the market opened, everything went green. Now when I bring down the premium a little bit more further, then I can see that majority of them again are on to the downside. Call option side has gone down significantly as compared to what it was yesterday. There were a lot of individuals those who were buying call options, but today a lot of people seems to be like backing off from buying any more further call options to the upside. Common in the options flow, a lot of individuals are betting that the SPY is going to go down to 363, but we just have to wait and see how this is going to play out. The rest, there was nothing majorly suspicious coming out of the options flow for the SPY. Hope so you like my video. Please like and subscribe my channel. I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.